Success requires action, not waiting. Too many people sit on dreams, ideas, and plans for years, hoping that one day life will deliver the right opportunity or that conditions will somehow become perfect. But life doesn't work that way. Opportunity is rarely wrapped in comfort. The truth is, success comes to those who are willing to move before they feel ready, to act while they're still unsure, and to leap even if they can't see the full staircase. Waiting might feel safe, but it's not productive. Every moment spent waiting is a moment you're not building, not learning, and not growing. The world doesn't reward thoughts alone. It rewards results. And results come from action. People often say they're waiting for the right time, but there is no perfect time to start. Conditions will never be flawless, and you will never feel fully prepared. That fear, that self-doubt, it doesn't just vanish, it walks with you. And you learn how to manage it by doing, not by thinking. If you wait until the fear goes away, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. The people who succeed are the ones who act in spite of fear. They don't let uncertainty become paralysis. They understand that clarity and confidence come after action, not before it. When you move, the path starts to appear. When you move, you give yourself something to adjust, to refine, to grow from. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to start. Start messy, start small, start scared, but start. That first step is the difference between staying where you are and getting closer to where you want to be. Dreams don't work unless you do. Action is the currency of achievement. You can visualize all you want, manifest all day, pray all night, but without effort, intention, and execution, nothing changes. Faith without works is dead. You've got to meet your dream halfway. You've got to move like the door will open, but you're not afraid to knock it down if it doesn't. The danger of waiting is that it breeds comfort, and comfort is the enemy of growth. The longer you sit in hesitation, the more your mind convinces you that you're not ready, that it's not the right season, that maybe you're not cut out for it. But those are lies created by fear to keep you still. Progress doesn't come from waiting, it comes from stretching, from failing forward, from falling and getting back up. Every successful person has a trail of mistakes behind them, but they're ahead because they kept moving. Mistakes teach you what strategies don't work. They give you the experience to get better, sharper, and stronger. None of that learning happens if you stay stuck in the planning phase. Some people get caught in the trap of overthinking. They want every step outlined, every risk eliminated. But success is not a straight road. It's full of detours, reroutes, and unexpected turns. You can't navigate a road you're not even on. You learn to drive by driving. You learn to lead by leading. You learn to win by trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again. Movement is how you build momentum, and momentum is how you get breakthroughs. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. Consistent action will always beat perfect planning. Even one small action can begin to shift your mindset. It builds confidence because you're proving to yourself that you're capable. It builds focus because your energy starts aligning with your purpose. Each step, no matter how small, is a brick laid in the foundation of your future. And once you start, the fear begins to shrink. Not because it disappears, but because you've grown stronger with it. You've taken your power back by no longer allowing fear to dictate your pace. There will always be reasons to delay. Financial stress, fear of failure, lack of support. But if you let every obstacle become an excuse, you'll never get anywhere. Every excuse is a thief of time while you're waiting for conditions to change. Someone else is building in silence, failing in public, learning on the go, and positioning themselves for the very opportunity you say you're waiting on. Success doesn't sit still. It moves with those who move. Action is your responsibility. Nobody is coming to rescue you. Nobody owes you belief, motivation, or direction. It has to come from within. You have to be the one who gets up early, stays up late, takes the leap, does the work, and keeps going when it's hard. That's what separates the average from the exceptional. Not talent, not luck, but consistent, deliberate action. Your gift is already inside you. You don't have to look outside yourself to find purpose, meaning, or direction. It's already there, planted deep within you by design, waiting for you to recognize it, develop it, and use it. But most people spend their entire lives looking everywhere except within. They look for validation from others, chase approval from society, compare their lives to what they see online, and in the process, they overlook the very thing that makes them unique. The truth is, your gift isn't something you have to earn, it's something you were born with. It's not about education, status, or opportunity. It's about awareness, discipline, and boldness. Everyone has a gift, but only a few have the courage to trust it enough to act on it. That gift doesn't always scream for attention. Sometimes it shows up as a quiet passion, a natural ability, something you do effortlessly while others struggle. It might be the way you speak, the way you lead, the way you solve problems, the way you inspire people. It might be how you create, how you write, how you care, how you dream. But it's there, you just have to pay attention. Too often, people ignore their gift because it feels too easy. They assume it can't be special if it comes naturally. But that's exactly what a gift is. Something that flows through you, something that doesn't feel like work, something that energizes you instead of draining you. The problem is people are taught to chase money, titles, and trends instead of purpose. So they bury their gift under years of doubt, fear, and noise. When you don't use your gift, life feels harder. You force yourself into spaces you were never meant to fit. You try to copy other people, walk paths that aren't yours, and it drains your spirit. That's why so many people are frustrated, bitter, or burned out. They're not living from their gift. They're living from survival. But when you operate in your gift, things begin to align. It doesn't mean everything is easy or that you won't face challenges, but there's a sense of peace, a flow, a power behind your steps because you're walking in truth. You're not pretending, you're not performing, you're living on purpose. Recognizing your gift requires silence sometimes. It requires getting still enough to hear yourself think, to reflect on what truly excites you, what moves you, what makes you feel alive. It's not always about what impresses others. It's about what fulfills you. That's where the gift lives. You don't have to wait for someone to hand it to you. You don't need permission. You just need faith. Faith in what God placed inside you, even when it's not fully developed yet. Because gifts grow with use. You don't have to be perfect at it. You just have to start. The more you walk in it, the clearer it becomes. The more you nurture it, the stronger it gets. The more you share it, the more it expands. There's someone out there who needs what you have. Your gift isn't just for you, it's meant to serve others, to uplift, to inspire, to heal, to lead. But if you keep it locked up out of fear or insecurity, you rob the world of something powerful. Don't underestimate what you carry. Just because it hasn't made you rich or famous doesn't mean it's not valuable. Some of the most impactful people in this world didn't chase attention. They just walked boldly in their gift and let it make room for them. That's what a true gift does. It opens doors that no degree, no connection, no hustle ever could. It brings favor, opportunity, and alignment. But first, it requires recognition. You have to see it. You have to believe in it, even if no one else does yet. Your gift isn't loud. It's not desperate for likes or applause. It's steady, deep, and full of purpose. The world will try to distract you from it. Life will try to convince you it's not enough. But the moment you decide to stop chasing what everyone else is doing and start owning what's already within you, everything changes. You stop feeling behind. You stop feeling lost. Because you realize you were never missing anything. You just hadn't looked inward long enough to find it. And once you do, you stop moving with fear and start moving with intention. That's the power of living from your gift. It gives you clarity, direction, and resilience. It reminds you that success doesn't come from pretending to be someone else. It comes from owning who you already are. Failure is part of the process. That's something most people don't want to hear, but it's the truth. We're taught to avoid failure, to be ashamed of it, to hide it, and to see it as something negative. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the path to success. You don't win without losing first. You don't grow without messing up. You don't evolve by getting everything right the first time. The most successful people you see today didn't get there because they never failed. They got there because they refused to let failure stop them. They learned from it, adjusted, and kept going. Failure didn't destroy them, it developed them. The problem is, most people treat failure like a final destination. They fail once, and they start believing they're not good enough. They let one rejection define them. They let one setback convince them to give up. But failure is just feedback. It's information. It's life's way of teaching you something that can't be taught in a textbook or a training manual. It gives you real experience. It shows you what doesn't work so you can get closer to what does. Every time you fail, you gain wisdom you didn't have before. That wisdom is what prepares you for the next level. And you can't get that kind of preparation by playing it safe. If you avoid failure, you avoid growth. Playing it safe might protect your ego, but it also keeps you small. It keeps you stuck. People who never fail are usually people who never try. They stay in their comfort zone. They never take the shot. They never start the business, write the book, speak up, or go after their dreams. And the sad truth is, they spend more time regretting what they didn't do than what they did wrong. Because deep down, they know failure isn't the enemy. Fear is. Fear of embarrassment, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But here's what separates winners from quitters. Winners feel the fear and do it anyway. They understand that if you're not failing sometimes, you're not risking it. Failure builds character. It teaches resilience. It humbles you. It makes you more compassionate, more focused, more determined. It makes your wins mean more because you know what it took to get there. Success that comes too easy often doesn't last because there's no foundation under it. But when you've been through something, when you've struggled, failed, and still kept going, you become unstoppable. You don't panic at setbacks because you've been there before. You've learned how to bounce back. That kind of strength doesn't come from winning. It comes from failing and refusing to quit. There's value in every failure. Sometimes it redirects you to something better. Sometimes it strips away what you thought you needed so you can focus on what truly matters. Sometimes it forces you to get better, sharper, more prepared. If everything came easy, you wouldn't grow, you wouldn't stretch, you wouldn't discover what you're really made of. Pressure builds diamonds, and failure builds champions. People don't admire success stories because they're perfect. They admire them because they overcame. They admire the resilience, the bounce back, the fight. You have to stop looking at failure as a reason to quit. Start seeing it as a reason to level up. If you fall, that just means you're moving. You're in the game. You're not sitting on the sidelines criticizing others. You're out there trying. And that matters more than getting it right every single time. What people remember isn't how many times you fell. It's how many times you got up. Every failure is a setup for a comeback. It may not feel like it in the moment, but when you look back, you'll see how it shaped you. You'll see how it built a version of you that couldn't be shaken by the same storms. People who succeed in life are the ones who've made peace with failure. They expect it. They don't get paralyzed by it. They use it. They fail fast, fail forward, and fail with purpose. That's how they stay ahead. That's how they break through. They stop seeing failure as a curse and start seeing it as a tool. And once you adopt that mindset, you stop fearing it. You stop trying to avoid it. You start leaning into it because you know every stumble has value. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of failure and start seeing yourself as a student of it. That's where real growth begins. Not in perfection, but in persistence. There is no perfect time to start. That's the hard truth most people don't want to accept. We wait for everything to feel right, for the fear to go away, for the money to show up, for the timing to be convenient, for people to support us, for life to calm down. But if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll be stuck in the same place 5 years from now, talking about what you want to do instead of living it. Life is messy, it's unpredictable. There will always be something that feels unfinished or uncertain. That's why the people who win in life are the ones who stop waiting and start anyway. Starting when everything is easy is a fantasy. There will always be a reason to postpone. Bills, responsibilities, insecurities, distractions. But time doesn't slow down for your doubts. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and next thing you know, you're carrying around a dream that's never been touched. Waiting gives fear more power. The longer you wait, the more you overthink, the more you doubt, and the harder it becomes to move. Action is the cure for fear, not planning. Movement breaks the cycle of delay. You can't think your way into readiness. You act your way into it. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to take one step. Waiting for the perfect moment is often just fear in disguise. It's the mind's way of stalling progress while pretending it's being responsible. But the truth is, you grow by doing, not by waiting. You gain clarity through movement, not through hesitation. The best lessons come when you step into the unknown and learn by living through it. You can read every book, take every course, and gather every opinion, but nothing replaces experience. And experience only comes when you start. Many people believe that if they start now and fail, it'll set them back. But not starting at all is the biggest setback of all. Failure doesn't delay your journey. Stagnation does. At least when you try, you learn. You gather insight. You build confidence. Every attempt, even the messy ones, take you closer to what works. That's how mastery is built. Nobody became great by waiting until they were ready. They became great by starting when it was uncomfortable and figuring it out along the way. You don't need everything to be in place. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You don't need to feel 100% certain. You just need to trust the nudge inside you that's telling you it's time. That feeling that won't go away, that idea that keeps showing up in your thoughts, that vision that keeps tugging at your heart, it's not there by accident. It's waiting for you to act. The universe responds to movement. God responds to faith in action. Doors open when you start walking toward them, not when you wait for them to open by themselves. People talk themselves out of greatness every single day by convincing themselves it's not time. They let their potential die in delay. But when you stop waiting for the perfect time and start now with what you have, from where you are, you begin to build momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence fuels courage. Courage changes lives. One step, no matter how small, can start a chain reaction that transforms everything. It's not about launching perfectly. It's about launching at all. Your first version won't be flawless. Your first try might not look impressive. But that's okay. Starting small doesn't mean staying small. What matters is that you get in motion, that you prove to yourself that you're not going to keep letting fear run the show, that you decide your dreams are worth more than your excuses, that you stop waiting to be chosen and start choosing yourself. You'll never feel completely ready, and that's fine. Readiness is a myth. Confidence doesn't precede action, it follows it. The most courageous things you'll ever do will happen while you're still unsure, and that's where your growth is. That's where your strength is tested and built. That's where the transformation begins. The people you admire didn't get ahead because they waited for a sign. They got ahead because they moved in the absence of one. They stepped forward even when it was dark, even when they were scared, even when they didn't know how it would turn out. If you're waiting for everything to align before you take action, you'll be waiting forever. The conditions you think you need will never all be there at once. Start anyway. Start with fear. Start with uncertainty. Start with whatever tools and knowledge you've got. But just start. Because the more you delay, the more distant your goals become. Time moves with or without your permission. And the only way to create the life you want is to step into it before you're ready.